We were very, very hot inside already, and open flames.
Carter's partner couldn't tolerate the heat and had to leave.
I kept on fighting the fire and trying to knock down as much fire as I possibly could. And the opportunity was there to do as much as I could until he got back or the backup crew came in. But that didn't happen.
When a firefighter's air tank runs low, a bell rings to warn him he has just a few minutes of air left. Carter heard his warning signal go off.
I heard a warning signal go off. The warning signal was hooked to our air tanks. Then you only have approximately 4 minutes of air left in your tank. At that point, I said, well, it is time to leave the building. I turned around, I picked up the hose like you're supposed to do, and I attempted to follow it out of the building.
But the hose was tangled and twisted.
And when I started to draw down on my air tank, my mask started to collapse on my face, and I knew at that point that I was out of air. So I removed my mask and was confused. I started to become disoriented. I realized that I was going to have to do something very, very drastic or very, very lucky to get out of this building.
But he couldn't see any lights or any way out.
And this is when I decided, well, maybe this is it for me. Maybe this is my final fire. Maybe this is when I meet my last alarm. I was starting to cough and gag. What I decided to do at that point was just settle up my life, I guess. And I knelt down and I asked for some type of divine intervention.
And that's when Carter says he saw something that couldn't possibly be there, but was.
Across the room, I just saw something out of the corner of my eye. It was like a blue light, a light blue light. It grew larger and it started to take the shape of a young lady and bathed in still the blue light. Her clothes was like a long billowing type veils and a very peaceful, very serene look on her face. Of course, I was startled and thinking, well, maybe I've already died, and this is the after-death experience that people have explained to me over the years that they've gone through, and it's time for me to offer myself up.
Carter prepared himself to die.
And at that point, I looked her right in the face and I said, if you're here to take me, then I'm ready to go. I said, but if you're here to help me, I said, show me the way out, please, now. And at that point, I mean, she never changed her expression or anything on her face, but she did lift her arm and she pointed. I got up off my knees and went the way she had pointed. I had no idea where I was headed. When I got to the point where she had pointed, I felt nothing but wall. But when I pushed on this section where I was standing, a door opened and I fell out into the parking lot.
After the fire was out, Carter returned to the scene of the apparition. He found a post in the middle of the room.
And I walked over to the post and I said, well, this is what I had to see, with blue lights on it. And, still trying to, I think, deny a little bit, this whole incident.
Then, for some reason, Carter took off his glove.
I don't know why, because everything inside of this building was still extremely hot. But when I touched the post was cold. And as I touched the post, like a blue tinge started to encircle my hand. And I knew then that this was just totally a true incident that happened to me. And this is when I, really decided it's time to thank somebody.
Angel researcher Alma Daniel feels that Carter's story is extremely similar to those told by others who have encountered angels.
An angel cannot interfere with your free will or your destiny, but if it is not your time to go, the angel will definitely guide you through whatever situation, whatever traumatic moment that you are in, whatever danger you may be in, will make sure that you get out.
Carter's fellow firemen wondered how he survived. Many firefighters insist angels have helped them.
You go out on every call, and after it's over with, you kind of stand back and you look and say, well, how did we come through this in one piece? And in the back of your mind, the whole time you got somebody looking after you. There's no doubt about it.
I think we definitely have got someone looking after us.
We have guardian angels out there looking after us.
If you have not fulfilled your purpose on this planet, If you still have a contribution to make, the angel will be there and make sure that you get through.
His life saved by a miracle in the fire, Carter now saves lives as a paramedic.
It's a terrific job. You can help so many people through so many situations. Saving a life there's nothing in this world that compares to nothing.
And Carter's angel has left an indelible imprint on his life.
And I still see her vision every now and then. I still picture her even today. I get chilled.
Next on Unexplained Mysteries, a man's lifeless body lies by the side of a road. Stunned paramedics watch as a mysterious woman brings him back to life.
Lady in black came in. She had a Bible in her hands. And I was in awe at this woman.
And we'll give you our all-inclusive review in the Unex Report. Stick around for more Unexplained Mysteries. Unexplained Mysteries, Miracles on Earth. Mansfield, Ohio. Bob Davidson was a volunteer fireman going through rough times. His father had just passed away, and he was concerned about his rocky relationship with his daughter.
We didn't get along. A teenage daughter and a father, we had our differences.
So Davidson decided to take a break. Wearing his father's watch to honor him as usual, he hopped on his motorcycle and hit the road, heading to Indianapolis to visit family. But it was raining hard.
When you're doing 60 miles an hour, a raindrop feels pretty stingy on your arms when it hits.
Despite their disagreements, his daughter was worried about him.
Being 7 months pregnant, for months I had dreams that something happened to Dad. I had a feeling that Dad wasn't going to be there to see my baby born.
Near Acton, Indiana, Davidson pulled over to get into his rain gear, unaware of the shocking twist of fate that awaited him.
Maybe it was that weird stuff, you got to be at the right place at the right time, and I was supposed to get struck by lightning.
Electricity shot through his body.
When we got there, the man was gray. No sign of life whatsoever.
Rescue workers arrived and knew immediately that Davidson was in bad shape. They called for a helicopter, but it couldn't fly in the storm.
When I got there and saw this man, where the lightning struck, it was actually smoldering. It looked like steam coming out of the wound.
The bolt had welded his father's watch and ripped the boots off his feet.
I think in the back of all firefighters' minds, you're saying a prayer.
As they tried in vain to resuscitate Davidson, weird things started to happen.
The ambulance